But we welcome Coach Dubuc, Matt Dubuc, Cardinal Gibbons High School from Verdun, Quebec. We got a lot to get over, Coach. This is the first time in person, so welcome.
Thanks, Rod.
You're like my CFL guy.
That's it. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
That's awesome. He's one of the best guys. And listen, we should introduce you to our audience in terms of you are a CFL alum. You got great stories there. Shoot, we could spend 40 minutes on that.
We could.
Talk about that, your time in the CFL.
Well, I'm so happy, hearing, Danny getting a contract extension. I'm friends with Danny, and Jeremy O'Day and I were both teammates in Toronto. And then, obviously, Chris Jones and I are friends. So I still have a large connection to the league. And, I enjoy watching the play. I think it's innovative offensively, and that's what I coach here in Florida. I'm an offensive coordinator, head coach. So I'm always trying to steal stuff from what they're doing because, again, there's so much movement. And I think it's way more exciting than people give it credit for.
Well, you know what? I bragged you up a little bit when you took that call and walked away because you're too humble to even agree with this. But Matt's one of the most famous football names in this state. They talk about you on the radio all the time with the Cardinal Gibbons Chiefs. And you got some – they know you hate to lose. You're like one of the most competitive guys I've ever seen. Maybe that's why you're coaching. Hey?
Well, I think when you're involved in sports your whole life, it's never life or death. We're not at war. But if you treat it that way, I think you're going to end up in the win column a lot more than you will otherwise. And I don't have many hobbies. I don't do many different things. You met my dog the other night.
Red?
No, his name's Tyson. He's a fighter, too.
You were going to call him Red.
Yeah, we didn't end up doing that. But, I don't have many hobbies. I love football. Both of my sons play football. Everything I do is pretty much – so, I've been to Tampa 5 or 6 times. I flew around the country watching my son this year at USF, actually playing tonight. He's got the same competitive nature I have, and so does my other son that'll be a senior next year. And I think they probably get most of that from their mother, Melanie, because she's super competitive. So, in our family, it's, when we do something, we want to win at it.
I apologize. I screwed up your dog's name. Red might have been more appropriate, but what? Golden Retriever?
He's a lab.
Golden Lab?
Yep.
Beautiful dog. I've never seen, as much as your players probably think you're a hard ass, that dog just melts you.
We've had dogs since we've been married, and our dog passed away a year ago, and we finally got the courage to get another one. And the puppy stage is tough, but we're enjoying it. We're like proud new parents.
I can tell. It's great. Tyson is the dog. By the way, that ocean over Coach Dubuc's shoulder is real. We're live at the beach house, and he asked me, what's your deal with the beach house? And I said, Thad, the manager, it's a very close friend of ours, huge hockey fan, but anytime that we can bring down live shows, this is our special occasion place, Matt. So we did the NHL All-Star Game here, our 1,000th show, our NHL preview last year, and now this, the Boca Bowl preview, which would be a good time right now to just talk about this game tonight. Pretty exciting that your kid's in it.
Yep.
University of South Florida versus Syracuse. It's the only bowl game of the night. Why is this on the big national network? Because last year, nobody seemed to care about the Boca Bowl.
I don't know. All these bowl games are affiliated with the conferences. The AAC obviously is a jump up. It's a group of 5, not quite a Power 5, but I think it's content for ESPN and everybody in the United States loves football, and I'm sure they'll have great viewership.
Yeah.
I'm a high school football coach, so all these college coaches come through. I know guys on both staffs. Obviously, I know everybody at the USF staff, but it's fun to see some of these kids. I think there's probably about 12 Syracuse players that are from South Florida, and then obviously USF's. Their roster's littered with kids from South Florida, Central Florida, and around the Panhandle. So I think it'll be a good game.
My guy in Regina, Bill Edwards, who just shipped me a Don Cherry bobblehead this week, he writes in and says it's not seen on any TSN listings. And that's unfortunate because last year's game was on TSN too. I don't know if you remember. It was a downpour, and Toledo speedboated Liberty in the game.
I watched it.
Yeah, were you there or you watched it on TV?
I wasn't there, but I watched it.
I was there, and it was terrible conditions. But it looks like tonight, aside from wind, what as a coach, what would you rather have, wind or rain?
I mean, we love to throw the football, so that, you know, for me, that's almost kryptonite, both of them. But you know, I played at Texas Tech in the '90s. Our stadium was in the hole. We called it in the hole. So we were, you know, in ground because the West Texas winds are so strong. So I would say wind more than rain. Rain really hampers you in the pass game.
Every coach I've asked has said you'd rather play in the wind. You can figure that out.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I promised that there were some viewer questions here. Here's a fun one from David in Winnipeg. He says, question for Matt Dubuc. Being from Quebec, why do French people clap whenever a plane lands successfully? I've been hearing it a lot lately and curious why. Is that a thing?
I have no idea.
I don't either. I don't think it's a French thing. I think they're happy to be at the destination. Every time a plane lands in Florida, everybody, I think they're just happy to be here.
Yeah, exactly.
Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg said, is Matt in touch with Bomber assistant GM and Seminoles legend Danny McManus?
I know Danny. I see him at the national convention here and there. I always see Mike O'Shea at the convention. We just haven't been able to hook up player-wise, you know, down there, and they haven't run any camps through our place yet. So Mike and I were teammates in Toronto. So I always say hi to him and Brad Foddy, or the longtime equipment manager when I played.
Everybody talks about him.
He's still there and does a great job. So, yeah, Danny Mac, he's legendary in the United States and has done a great job, obviously, stacking the roster in Winnipeg.
Coach Dubuc with us, happy to take your questions, my questions. I should tell you the Sober Carpenter text line is open, 902-518-3033. Sober Carpenter, ask for them by name at your local beer, wine, and spirit store. It's available here at Total Wine and Spirits, Boca Town Center. I should mention, being from Verdun, are the Alouettes your team, or are you just an overall CFL fan?
No, they never. They didn't sign me after I got released.
So you don't like them?
So no, they're not my team. But you know, I was happy to see Danny get the win. I mean, I know
Machocha he's talking about.
Machocha. I know the ownership problems that they were having, and Danny and I were talking a lot. And Danny vacations down here, so we always go out to lunch when he's here. And I'm just glad to see him. He's a winner. Danny's a winner. I don't care what anybody says about him. He's won at every stop he's been at. And I don't see this thing slowing down. He knows how to pick talent, and he loves his hometown. He's representing his hometown, and I think it's important to him that they have a great product.
Nelson, we're jumping all over the place. It's what we do here, Matt, and you know that. Nelson writes in and he says, the Boca Raton Bowl will be on TSN Plus tonight. So if you have the TSN app, you can stream the game, and I would suggest that you do. Do you think there'll be a big crowd? Because with a lot of USF fans are coming over, which you would know because your kid plays on the team.
I know that USF reached their allotment of 5,000 tickets, and I think they went above that. So, you know, as far as people coming down from Syracuse, why not? I mean, it's cold as you know what up there. So I think it's a nice destination tonight for a lot of those people. And you know, I think it'll be a good crowd. Great stadium. FAU is a beautiful campus. It's up and coming. I mean, there's nothing bad about Florida Atlantic University. You can see the ocean from the upper deck at FAU.
Box,
so
yes.
it's pretty awesome. So I'm looking forward to it tonight.
Well, here's the funny thing. I meant to mention this with Darren when he was on. Folks, check your junk folder. Check it. Because 3 or 4 times I applied for media accreditation for the Boca Bowl tonight, and I never got a response. I was starting to get angry. And then I thought, well, maybe I should just check my junk. I've been accredited 4 times because I kept hitting it. So I will be there tonight in the press box. And if you say the Bulls are bringing 5,000 plus fans, that's more than were even here last year. But how old is that stadium?
Maybe 7 or 8 years. It's new.
Nice. 32,000?
Yeah. You know, the legendary coach Howard Schnellenberger, University of Miami, he's the one that put this whole thing on the map with Florida Atlantic University, and the stadium's named after him, and he was a legend at FAU and Miami.
Look him up, Howard K. Schnellenberger Field at FAU Stadium. Patrolman Pete in Winnipeg. A lot of the football people, which I knew are digging this show today, and I knew they would. Patrolman Pete says you got to get that Florida talent pool flowing to Winnipeg. You know what they say, what they recruit out of Florida, out of high school, is speed. What is it about the players here?
You know, that's a great question, and I can't put my finger on it. But I would just say, it's like hockey. The best hockey is in Canada. You know why? Because it's cold and there's ice, and that's what kids do. Down here, the football, baseball, you can play it all year round. So, I think what you're seeing now is just you're a product of your environment. It's important here. The Tri-County area, Broward, Dayton, Palm Beach County, put more kids in college than any other place in America, including Texas and Georgia, the Tri-County area. So, I would just probably say overall the climate, if you go up, Belle Glade, I think, has the most NFL players ever, from the muck, they call it. So, again, I think it's just you're a product of your environment, and it's important down here.
Yeah, and it's not just speed. I mean, on Monday night, Matt was nice enough to ask me to come speak at the wind-up, their year-end wind-up for his football team, and I got my photo taken with your starting right tackle, your quarterback, and was Johnny Rodriguez, is he a D lineman?
Center.
I'm 6'3", and I'm reaching up to put my arms around these guys. I can't imagine the grocery bill. They talk about where those kids are going and the kind of careers they've had. In high school, folks, 6'4", 6'5", 6'6", 3 bills.
Our center's going to Florida International, FIU. Our right tackle's going to East Carolina University. We have two guards going to Wagner, Staten Island, upstate New York. Or not upstate New York, but across from the city. So those 4 guys all average, 6'4", 285 to 300 pounds. Quarterback's going to North Carolina, and our tight end signed with Georgia. And then the second signing period in February, we'll probably have another 7 or 8 signed. And that'll wrap up this class, and then we're on to the next class, of 24.
That was a special night the other night. Last time together for that gang, I guess, huh?
Yeah, we had before I came here today, we had a team meeting with the guys that are returning, and, it's their turn now. They're on the clock, and the recruiting process starts. But, I could sit here and talk to you about the transfer portal someday, Rod.
We're going to get into that next.
And I'll tell you what, it is definitely, there's over 5,000 NCAA football players in the transfer portal. So, I don't know how this is all going to play out for the high school athletes. I have my feelings on it. I have my thoughts on it. But the NIL and these guys are getting paid now a lot of money to play. We're talking the 4-star, 5-star guys that are going to Power 5 are getting, a couple $100,000 to millions. So I don't even know why you'd want to go to the NFL or Canada. You just play there and for 2 or 3 years and don't get hit anymore and pocket your dough. So I don't know. I really don't know how this is going to play out.
That's exactly what yours and my buddy Jones said. He said exactly that. This is already hard to get guys to come to the CFL. Now it's even harder because of the money, right?
Listen, my son's a long snapper, and he has an NIL. I mean,
wow.
He's doing better than I ever did. And I was on a full scholarship at Texas Tech. They used to give us a $10 bill after every game to go out to dinner. These kids are getting they're getting meals and money. And I'm like, man, I grew up in the wrong era. But I wouldn't trade the era I played in with this new era today, because it is pro football 2.0 in the NCAA level. And I hope they do something about it to make sure that they don't ruin the game.
Jordan Ewart is watching in the Queen City. He writes in and says, I just looked up that stadium in Boca. Dang, that's nice. Right, you wouldn't even know about it. I lived here a year and didn't even know about it because I was going everywhere else. Dolphin Stadium. Jordan's got a lot of questions for you, and everybody does. We'll be right back with Coach Dubuc, and our next guest is here, Andrew Nowacki, Edmonton Eskimos, great and Grey Cup champion. It's Champions Day here. Last year, we had Joey Yawk of the Liberty Flames broadcast crew and alum joining us. We got Coach Dubuc here today. His kid, Trey, is playing for the Bulls in the game tonight. Coming up in hour 2, Andrew Nowacki. We're going to talk more college football, some CFL stuff, and the rest. And from the I'll save the text comments for the next segment or a little later on. I appreciate people writing in on the 902 line. Just on the bowl phenomenon, because it is a phenomenon. There's 43 bowl games.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess it's great for the players, I guess. I mean...
Well, here's the thing. The college coaches love it because you get another 12 to 15 practices. You can evaluate your younger players. Now the free agency is hit and guys are opting out, so the next guy is up. Can he play? It's another 12 practices, and the value, you're getting paid to go to the bowl game. You're getting your program exposure. The kids, I'll tell you, Trey got a ton of stuff. Meal money, I mean, it's great. It's great for the kids. He's been in a beautiful hotel for a week, and, you know, it's a great experience. I played in 4 bowl games myself. Yeah. So I think they're great, you know, but, yeah, there's a lot of them.
But again, you know, Jeff Reinbold,
yep,
who you would know well, is on this show every week, and we discussed it depends on your perspective, because I was all excited last year to see Liberty come in here and see Ken Austin. Nope. 5 days before the game, he bolts and goes to Auburn with Hugh Freeze, and they're gone. Look at Ohio. Curtis Rourke not playing. Now, they did manage to win their bowl game on the weekend, but that's the one thing. If you're excited to see certain players, Michael Pratt from here, they tell me, will not play for Tulane in their bowl game.
Their coach left, I think Willie
Taggart?
No, he went to Houston. And here's the thing. These guys... The bowl games, like, it's terrible for the bettors. If the bettors aren't keeping track of it, you're expecting, you know, I think Georgia had 2 tight ends went in the portal, and Bowers is going to be probably a top 5 pick. So they're going to be playing with a redshirt freshman that hasn't played really at all this year. My guy is going to go into bowl practice, but he can't play in the game. So, you know, they've got to do something to stabilize it, because I don't think we should have this much free agency in college football. Well,
and that's where the comments are coming in from the audience here. Jordan Ewart says, I saw today Archie Manning is making more money this year than Brock Purdy. That's Archie the third, I guess, or whatever. He says, is the transfer portal a pro or con for college football? Because, again, that's a perspective thing. Some people like it and some hate it. Where are you on it?
I don't like it because it's taken away scholarships from high school kids, because, you know, instead of taking an 18-year-old, you go in the portal, you take a 21 or 22-year-old. At USF, their punter's 30 years old. He's from he's an Aussie.
Okay.
So, you know, the other long snapper's 23, 24. The other kicker they got out of the transfer portal, he's 25. Trey's 18, you know, so he's like a kid compared to, you know, in the specialist room at his school. But, you know, it all still goes down to, can you play? If you can't play, then they're going to weed you out and they're going to push you out. So it works on both ends. You know, the college coaches will tell you to go in the portal if you can't play. So, you know, when you get there, you better be ready to go, and you better not have a fraudulent, you know, attitude about it, because they'll get rid of you quick.
Well, and here's the transfer portal. For those that don't know, how would you in 30 seconds or 30 words or less explain it? What it is, for those that don't know.
So the transfer portal started when a college coach got a new job. The kids could go in the portal and get a one-time transfer. Then the NCAA changed it, and then you could become a graduate transfer. Then it changed, and now you get 2 transfers and a graduate transfer. So a kid could be at a place with that COVID year that the kids got. It could be at two or three different places in 6 years. I mean, you could have your first or second year of college done in a year if you go to summer school. I mean, Trey could be a graduate transfer in 3 years. You know, it's
like free agency, and you can switch teams twice.
Yes. My only thing is, how do the transcripts hold up? Like, you still have to do the college work. You still have to get the credits. You still have to have that major go to the other school. That is my question. It just is. It sounds like it's just too easy, where back in the day it wasn't like that. It was hard to transfer.
Schooling, I guess, just isn't that important.
Well, then that's the wrong message.
But what's the message, Matt? Come on. Loyalty, coaches skipping around, Coach Prime. Hey?
But here's the thing. What can you have in your back pocket for the rest of your life? Your degree. This is short-term thinking, Rod.
Sure.
It's short-term. Now, there's a lot of money. There's a lot of money up front, but like I tell our own players, hey, you come here for the next 40 years, you got the Cardinal Gibbons family with you. We have doctors, lawyers, judges, mayors, you name it, high-end people that are doing great things. I want to be associated with that, and I think sometimes these kids are just short-term thinking and taking the easiest road.
Okay, so I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Curtis Rourke, Canadian kid, as we air all across Canada on Game Plus television right now in 31 U.S. states. He might have been born in Victoria too, like his brother Nathan, but raised in Oakville, Ontario. He switches from Ohio to Indiana for his last year. 7 figures is the NIL money he's apparently getting. Did he go for the money to Indiana? Because they were 3-9 this year.
Of course he did.
But some are saying this is going to give him a better opportunity.
How do you know that?
I'm just telling you what the scouts are saying because I'm no scout. So it's money. That's why.
It's 100% money because here's the deal. They have a new coaching staff. I know Tom Allen. He got fired. It's a whole new coaching staff. So there's no guarantees this new guy's going to flip it. But the guaranteed of 7 figures is that you can count on that.
All money.
Yeah. 100%.
I should have known. Follow the money, as they say. One more segment with Coach Dubuc, and Andrew Nowacki slides in here. Is there anything we haven't covered that you'd like to? Just to think about it in the next 4 minutes in the break?
Yeah, obviously I'm a big CFL fan.
Okay.
And I can talk about my coaching staff, the guys that I work with, and stuff like that.
CFL questions. He's our guy. You recognize him through the season. As soon as, mid-August hit, I never heard from you anymore. I was like, oh, Dubuc's team's playing. He's not ringing my phone anymore.
Yeah, I get pretty busy.
So this is the guy. Coach Michael Wynn is watching in Winnipeg. Winnipeg's our number 2 city for viewership, by the way. And he goes, Coach Dubuc must be a Bomber fan.
3 years there, so yes, I am.
Okay. There's a photo of Matt. Look it up. D-U-B-U-C. Matt, seriously, is it Dubuc or Dubuc?
Whatever you want to call it.
No, what do you say when
Dubuc.
Dubuc?
Yeah, Dubuc.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to say it right.
Now,
I'm a broadcaster.
If you ask my dad that, it'd be completely different.
Dubuc.
En français, very different.
Well, the other day, your announcer, Jonathan, at your wind-up, said Dubuc. I'm like, oh, my God. I've been saying it wrong all this time.
You're fine.
Okay. There's a photo of you catching it on your head.
Yeah.
You seen that photo?
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's a good one.
Those are the good old days.
Look it up. Matt Dubuc, Blue Bombers and Argos. Got a quick Doug Flutie story?
Yeah, Doug Flutie was our Cosmo Kramer. He would live one floor above us in Toronto, and Jeremy and O'Day and Mike Kiselak were all roommates. And he'd just come downstairs and jump on our couch, and he was cool. When he comes down here, we'll text or whatever. He still plays in the band down at Lauderdale by the Sea. So once in a while, I'll try to get down there and see him play. But, very competitive guy. Anything he did, he was just super competitive.
If you have just turned on your sets, it's our annual Boca Raton Bowl preview. We talked about the game earlier, Syracuse versus USF tonight, and Matt's kid, Trey's. Is he playing in it tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in it tonight at FAU Stadium. It's on ESPN Main Network and TSN+. But I can't let you get out of here without talking about, we have about 3 minutes, the Alouettes. You glossed over it, but Machocha and you were pretty tight.
Yeah.
And you've just been pretty happy to see what they did this year, along with Fajardo and Maz, and they all got extensions.
Listen, Danny is a pro in the business. He runs a free agent camp at our school every year. Love him. We go to lunch when he's in town. I'm happy that he got it going. I love O'Day, and I love Chris Jones. Unfortunately, they all got to play each other. And I'm not more loyal to one or the other, but I certainly do appreciate the league. I appreciate what the league, and I wouldn't be sitting here without football. I mean, football is such and I said that the other night at our banquet, that football is just a unification of people, because it takes 11 people on each side of the ball to work together to put this product out there perfectly. And I always say, we don't want to play with 9, we don't want to play with 10, and people say, you got to play with 11. Well, the 11 have to play in unison, and that's what I mean by that. So, I think Danny was able to accomplish that, and that's hard to do at our level, at the college level, and obviously at the pro level, and what you're seeing with the Miami Dolphins right now. I mean, you get those years where things just kind of work. And then you get other years and you figure out, what am I doing wrong here? And then you get fired. So
it happens fast.
It happens fast.
Coach, thanks for everything. I'll see you at the game tonight. This has been a lot of fun.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Coach Matt Dubuc of the Cardinal Gibbons High School Chiefs, three-time, I got it right now, state champions. I think he'll be coming to a pro stadium near you. Stick around. But I know that you'll be back with the Chiefs for another championship run next year.